Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and we are back with another thread. Folks, today we're talking about duelists that were done dirty. The Yu-Gi-Oh anime has been on for the better part of 2 decades, and during that time, some duelists fared better than others. While Yugi and Kaiba had ample opportunity to outplay opponents, other duelists were given the short end of the stick, so to speak. Today I'd like to talk about those duelists and begin with one of my favorite, Blue Angel. Blue Angel is a character from Vrains who played a Trickstar deck. If you're unfamiliar, this deck is adept at dealing almost exactly 8,000 points of damage through repeated burn activations. It seems like, in a format with 4,000 life points, she would be nigh unbeatable. But every person she ran into seemed to have a card or series of cards that just totally nullified any chance of her actually winning the game. She ended with a middling win rate, only really picking up games against jobbers, and is responsible for one of the most notorious defeats of any woman in any Yu-Gi-Oh series. Let's see what you all came up with. Yeah, Nergard's got probably the most famous one, Joey. His whole character was built up from being the noob with not much money to buy good cards, and then we can finally prove himself. He gets hit by ancient Egyptian bullshit. Don't get me started on battle for 3rd place. I might be in the minority here. I actually really like this sequence. Obviously, he could never have been the one to beat Merrick. It had to be Yugi. But it's incredible to see that as a duelist by Battle City, he's grown to the point where he has the skill and passion to actually accomplish something like this. The thing that pisses me off is the KC Cup arc. He was obviously supposed to win the KC Cup arc. Yeah, this is a great one. Mai Valentine. She has one on-screen win, despite being one of the best, according to the story. She was done so dirty in Battle City that they invented an extra summoning requirement for Ra just to keep her from winning. Then her story didn't get a resolution. She's just a loner biker. It's crazy that after Ori Kalkos, she is just never in the story again. Like, oh yeah, Mai, she's doing her thing. It's such an important part of the extended cast and just completely shafted in the second half of the series. Yeah, Taya's probably correct. She hangs out with all the main characters for the whole series and just doesn't duel. She plays 3 total games. Like, one is 1 of 5 against Joey, one's against Mai, and one's against fucking Penguin. But she does win all of them. So that puts her a league above of pretty much everyone else. This one is probably true. Aigami from Dark Side of Dimensions. He loses every single duel that he plays that's important. The match versus Kaiba ends after Kaiba manifests Obelisk in like the prison world he's created. Then he loses to Yugi. Then he loses again to Yugi and Kaiba in a weird tag duel. Like, what is this guy doing? Shows up, loses 3 times, and leaves. Then he gets killed by a laser. Dyer has a great one. You're the main character's best friend. You have a 3-season-long arc of wanting to be seen as an equal to your big brother, both your real one in Zane and your chosen one in Jaden, only for the self-sacrifice of yourself for the sake of him to be done by someone who's introduced this season instead of you. Man, there's so many characters, especially in late seasons of GX, that it's clear they just have no idea what they want to do with them. And Cyrus is just one of the most frustrating. Bastion's a good answer. He was presented as a solid, ambitious duelist who focused on strategy and metagamed. He's probably the closest thing we ever got to an IRL competitive duelist, but he ended up falling for a cult and then was just straight up forgotten. I think you mean fucked by an Amazonian, but you're close. Frustrating part about this one is, as a kid, I always wanted to see the 6 decks, and we got to see 2 of them. At least one of the 2 has had a lasting impression on Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Atticus is a great answer here. Fedganator has a great one once again. Described consistently as one of the top 3 students in the school prior to his introduction, he has a deck built around a DM bat chest archetype. He spends half the series under mind control and has a 0% win rate. Red eyes, folks. Not even once. One of the most interesting decks, super integral to the development of one of the main characters, has 2 decks, more than any other character, and both decks have super contrasting playstyles that could have been explored. She has like 3.5 duels. This was such a devastating lack of dueling on the part of this character that the next post is also about it. She was a fucking dark signer. It was such an unbelievable snub that people retconned it in their own mind to be like, Carly had to be written out after there was this cult that the voice actress was a part of of. Like, no, dog. They just didn't write her good. This is actually an interesting take on it. Shouts out RJ. They go, obviously the real answer is literally every woman, but lest we forget, there was a member of 5Ds who was jailed several times for being basically Robin Hood for orphan kids because the government exiled all of them to a dumpster at gunpoint, and they made him a cop. Maybe he's trying to change things from the inside, you freaking communist. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the one that people will sound off about. Strongest early synchros. It had to be limited IRL, tons of generic plant synchro spam support, beats a dark signer, loses to a guy on Thunder Unicorn, and then just doesn't duel again for the rest of the series until the very end. That intro where it calls her the bench warmer is the most disrespectful thing ever done to a character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Until Vrains, when they fucking did what they did to Blue Angel. In one duel against Shark, they outright say he could have won. In another duel against Nash, he achieves an all-win con and they just tell him no. In a tag duel, Kite needed his brother to use his powers to give Kite a new card to not lose. Cool. Imagine being Quattro. Honestly, fucking deserved for playing Gimmick Puppet. Lily Kotaker says, I may be the #1 Yusaku fangirl, but Aoi had lethal on board versus him, and the writers made her misplay. That is literally correct. That's literally, I would urge you never to watch the Blue Angel duels because you will get mad. The most shafted of all time, though, is Kotori. She does not even duel. She could have had a cute deck if Konami and Gallop weren't so rude. Now, that is not actually true. She did duel one time while being mind controlled. 10-year period where women were just not allowed to play card games on screen. Ellie's got a great one. Yuzu gets written out of relevance in the plot. It sucks so bad, but my favorite example is the Thorn Prisoner duel. It is so boring and bad and stupid, and it ends in the stupidest way possible, blocked by the bike. It's incredible. She doesn't even get to use Fusion Parasite after. It also leads to this stupid ass pose, which is really funny because she crashes into a building right after. Fun fact, the Thorn Prisoner duel is also the one where you see the penis in BDSM gear. Dyer, throw up the penis. There's so much Sylvio love on the timeline. I gotta be honest, I was not expecting this much Sylvio love. This motherfucker played Yosenju, played Abyss Actors, huge fan of the guy. I want to highlight this tweet that says, Sylvio only wins because other people were carrying him, then he lost all his solo duels, which is good, because I fucking hate his annoying ass. In a world of Sylvio love, be a hater. Snatsy's got one. Shout out to Yuto, who aura farmed as a mystery man for 20 episodes and then immediately fucking died. Oh, by the way, he was also playing Phantom Knights and got killed by Speedroids. Okay, first off, don't disrespect Speedroids. And second off, I never watched Arc V, Arc 5, whatever you people want to yell at me in the comments for not pronouncing correctly. But I did get acquainted with this character's story through Vrains, which tells like a truncated version of it. And even in that, I was like, did I miss something? I went back to watch the episodes to see if I missed something, and no, they just didn't say anything. Ah, man, another Vrains answer. Ghost Girl. Ghost Girl is such an interesting character. There's a version of Vrains that exists in my head that's just about Soulburner, Varys, and Ghost Girl, and it's really good. They're the only characters that they knew how to write. Unfortunately, they didn't remember how to write Ghost Girl winning a game. She beats Brave Max, which is just nothing, and she never wins another match. She goes Imper Multifaker and loses. Why does she lose? Because her brother is playing a deck that says if your cards would be negated, they're not. I can't stand this. I gotta stop thinking about Vrains. To this day, I don't get Oates. Who is Oates supposed to? Is he Kaiba? Is he backwards Kaiba? Says main villain of the Rush era anime. I suppose. The reason Rush duels exist and implied to be the creator of dueling in the Rush universe. Why not? Throw every duel to manipulate an 11-year-old. Reveal you're the bad guy 3 episodes before the finale. Lose to the 11-year-old. I just don't get it. I just don't understand. Anyway, now that there's not a Yu-Gi-Oh anime going, I think we can probably pitch the next one right now. It stars Joey and Atticus in the Red Eyes Rehabilitation Home, and they and every single woman in the series have to win a combined single duel between them before the sun explodes. Spectre sucks. Fuck him.